Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane Truck, and we have something very special for you. We have the brand new Chevy Duramax 3500, the brand new Ram Heavy Duty 3500, and the very brand new Ford F-350 Super Duty.
What are we pulling, Nathan?
We're pulling 12,000 pounds of trailer, RV behind each one.
What's coming up next?
Coming up next on the Fast Lane Truck, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison.
In case you're wondering what we're towing, let me show you. It's a fifth wheel, the Crusader Touring Edition. There we have it. Look how big that looks. It's massive, but you know, these two-axle trailers are made out of relatively light materials. So let's see the real number, the one that's most important, and that is how much weight we're towing. And that will be right here. And it's right there, 12,057 pounds. 12,057 pounds behind the Chevy, the Ram, and of course the Ford. So these trucks are capable of towing a lot more than these trailers, as you probably know. But today, 12,000, fifth wheel, lots of fun. All right, gang, we are in the Chevy, the 3500, with my man Nathan driving.
Hello guys.
And this Chevy has the Duramax, which puts out 397 horsepower and 765 pound-foot of torque. What is it paired with, Nathan?
It's paired with an Allison 6-speed automatic transmission.
Now, Ford flew us down here to test their new F-350 and 450, and they've loaded up basically 3 of the 350s, which competes with this, which is the Chevy 3500 heavy duty, and we're going to do a miniature hike gauntlet, except we're calling it the New River Gauntlet because that's the new river that we're crossing.
Yep.
And the idea is there's a 7% grade of highway here, and we're going to try to see how long it takes the truck to climb the very steepest part. So Nathan's going to hit the steepest part at 50 miles an hour because we're going to do a rolling start.
Yep.
And we're going to time how long it takes to get to the very top of this ascent. For lack of a better word, and the new river's right here, let's call it the New River Gauntlet, dude.
New River Gauntlet it is.
We are, of course, not at a mile above sea level like we are.
No,
2
this
miles.
is West Virginia. We are actually going to be peaking at about 2,700 feet.
Yeah, it's not that stressful, especially on these trucks. I mean, these are serious heavy-duty trucks. So, how do you like the Chevy?
Love the interior. Probably the best interior in its class. Really nice fabrics to touch all around, soft materials, much nicer than the Fords. But there is a little problem, and that is that the steering wheel goes up and down, but it doesn't have a telescoping feature. And you know what? I want that, and I know a lot of you guys want that too.
Yeah, I think Chevy has really stepped up their game in terms of the interior, especially in this generation of heavy-duty truck.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to get it to downshift. There we go.
Now we're letting the truck do all the shifting. Once again, same rules as the iGauntlet. We're not doing the manual shifting. And in case you're wondering, we're towing a camper.
That's right, 12,000 pounds worth.
Yeah, 12,000 pounds worth of campers. They all have basically the same camper behind them, so it's about as close as you can get. But we want to do a head-to-head comparison because it's really difficult for us to get 3 trucks that are as close as possible to compare. And so when we get our hands on them, we'd be stupid not to do it.
Exactly. That's why we're doing the best we can to hijack these trucks and keep them for as long as possible to make these things happen.
Yeah, the other journalists must love us. So I see, are you at 50?
Yep, at 50.
Right, we're going to do a rolling start, and we're coming up to the steep part pretty soon. Not quite yet. You know, this is a very comfortable truck.
It's a very comfortable truck. It's weird. It doesn't translate the motions of the trailer the same way the Ram and the Ford do. When we go through a bump,
yep,
I kind of feel it as almost like a pogo action, that it goes up and down. Not in a bad way, mind you. I mean, everything translates, you know, from the trailer to a truck. It's just they all do it differently. In this case, I can kind of feel the seat lift and lower a little bit when the trailer's bouncing.
Okay, start right there. All right, here we go.
Foot's all the way down. There it goes.
Foot's all the way down. Let's see if it. Let's see how it does in the 7% grade. So far, not much of a problem, huh?
No, not much of a problem. We're almost at 60. Speed limit here is 70.
70, yeah. So the question is, can we maintain 70? I'm thinking
no,
Probably not.
Probably not, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty steep. 7%, which is what the sign said on the way
Which
down.
is about as steep as it gets.
Yeah, it's as steep as it's allowable on an American highway. So it's a really good test. 3 lanes going up, not a lot of traffic. What more could you want?
Maybe this guy to move out of my way.
Yeah, is he going to let you through?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have a clean run, hopefully. And this is going to be a much shorter run. This is only like 3 or 4 miles, so it's not quite as long as the Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Yeah, it's and it's not that stressful in the vehicle. 2,000 feet, it really isn't going to affect the horsepower that much of any vehicle, much less one that has a turbocharger on it.
Yeah, there goes another one. There goes a Ram on the way down.
Now we do have on the Chevy engine braking that's available for going downhill, and we have it in tow haul mode, which is supposed to be beneficial up and downhill.
Yeah, we used the engine braking on the way down, and it was fine. You know, we don't have a chance to actually do the downhill portion of this because we don't have a temperature gauge. We don't know how much or how heavy things, how hot things are getting. So we're just doing the uphill portion.
Yeah, but during the downhill, it didn't have a problem going down. And whenever I was starting to go too close to high speed, I just tapped the brake and it would downshift and use the engine braking. And it's very easy in the Chevy. Very easy in the Chevy.
Foot all the way down?
All the way down.
All the way down.
Wide open throttle.
Wide open throttle.
Just a hair under 60.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't think that 12,000 pounds is going to slow this truck down so much, but apparently.
Well, I mean, it's still, this is a very good and safe speed that we're traveling at. It's letting us do it without much of a problem, but it's not downshifting, and it's cruising along at about 2,700 RPM.
Yeah, so we're letting the truck's computer, its algorithms do the thinking for us, which is the way most people drive. I mean, yeah, you could do it manually.
Are we stopping the timer at the sign or at the next sign?
Yep, that's okay. The top of the hill is the next sign. So we're at 2 minutes, 2:20 right now, and we'll stop it at the next sign because that's where it flattens out, and that'll be our official New River Gauntlet.
You got it. So it's that one right down there.
Yep, there you go. I got it.
1,000 yards ahead of us.
Yep, that's the one. And for all you Ford and Ram boys, we're going to do those as well.
Damn straight.
Damn straight. So we'll see which one ends up being the fastest. So here comes the number exit 133, which is our stop sign. Ready? Boom. There you go. 250. 250.93. We have a new benchmark, Nathan.
All right. So we're going to grab either a Ford or a Ram next and see what they can do.
That's good because it slows down to 55 here.
Yeah. Actually, it works out great for us.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we are.
All right. 250.93. 250.93. That is the benchmark. Okay, guys, we are now in the Ford, the brand new 2015 F-350, Nathan, and behind us is actually, well, a liability. I don't think you think of yourself as that, Brock, but in terms of weight, you certainly are a liability. We have Brock here with us, who's, what are you here for?
We're here to let you guys drive our 2015.
No, you. Why are you in the truck?
Yeah.
Why am I in the truck?
Yeah.
I just want to help answer questions and see
What do you do for Ford?
See what you guys think.
Brock, don't let him bother you.
I'm giving him a little
consumer marketing manager for Ford Super Duty trucks.
Giving him a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah. The reason Roman's giving him a hard time, aside from the fact that Roman's a cranky old man, is because the other vehicles we tested, Brock wasn't in. What do you weigh, about 160 soaking wet?
Yeah, that's about right.
Yep. So there's plenty of us to go around. It doesn't matter if he's in here or not. The truck won't care.
Okay, now we're doing what we're calling the what the hell is this river called? The New River. That's
New
right.
River.
The New River Gauntlet. And we're in the F-350, and just in case you're curious, MSRP on this is 68,770. We didn't have the MSRP on the other truck, but we do have it here. It's got the 6.7, which has how much horsepower and torque?
440 horsepower and 860 foot-pounds of torque.
Which is best in class out of the three trucks that we're testing. And, you know, we've got all the goodies here, and this is one of my favorite trucks, the King Ranch.
Yeah, this here belongs in Texas.
It's a very Western truck, isn't it?
Proper cowboy truck.
American heritage.
It's America, gosh darn it, it's America.
That's right.
So let's see how America does compared to, even though I'm sure Ram would argue that theirs very American as well.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Here's the most important part, guys. We're going to hit the beginning of this at a rolling start of 50 miles per hour, 50.
Yep, and we've got the time from the Chevy, which we just did. There it is, 250, and I'm going to reset this and see if the Ford could do better, but we have to wait till we get to the start of this official fall, what was this river called again? New River. New River Gauntlet. So we have to wait till we get to our starting point, Nathan, which is still coming up. We want to get to the real steep part before we start this up.
Okay, this thing is like tugging at the leash, so it's really hard to maintain just 50. So just so you know, I'm doing it, but it's just like it's ready to. Yeah, it just. If I touch the pedal too much, it's going to downshift and it's going to want to fly.
Yeah,
There's plenty of power.
Luckily, we're getting to a point on the highway where it's 7% grade, so we don't want to exceed the speed limit, even though you never know, we might actually exceed the speed limit.
But we're not going to, officer.
We're not going to, officer. Of course not. Keep going. We're not to the starting point yet. It's coming up soon, though. Coming down the hill, what was amazing was just how quiet it is. I think it was more quiet than the Chevy.
Yeah, I agree. It was quieter by far. The interior is nice. This is, really one of the top interiors for Ford. But
it's more truck-like.
Sorry to say this, it's not as nice as the Chevys.
You're the Chevy man, aren't you? You don't like these hard plastics.
I don't like hard plastics. And there's hard plastics on the door panel. Chevy did a really good job by not having that.
All right, we're coming up to the start here for pretty soon.
Is it this sign?
Yeah, it's that sign up there. It's where that little road cuts across. So you ready, Nathan?
Yep.
All right, not yet. And right now. All right.
Okay. Now I have my foot down. It's wide open throttle.
Yeah.
Already up to 55.
And I got a feeling that this truck may actually exceed the speed limit, at which point...
we will slow down and maintain the speed limit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's like a...
60.
Yeah.
It's not having a problem.
No.
65.
It's a wild dog just pulling at the collar, man.
Damn.
Damn, this thing is powerful. All right, so are you cheering for the Ford?
Obviously.
Yeah, Brock is cheering for the Ford back there.
Little flag, go Ford, go.
I'm worried about this thing actually exceeding the speed limit.
Well, already up to 60. Just lapped right up to 60.
Right to 60.
It really does have a lot of power. Really good transmission, too.
Keep in mind, this is a 7% grade, the highest allowable on a U.S. highway. So, we don't have the elevation going for us, but we certainly have the grade.
That we do.
How does it steer, Nathan?
Well, so far the nose isn't light at all.
Yeah.
And what we noticed last time with the Chevy is that when you were going over bumps and whatnot, it had a slight pogo effect where you were being kind of sent up and down. It wasn't too bad. This doesn't have that at all. It's not showing any signs of really straining, and I actually had to double check and look in my mirror to make sure we're still towing something.
I know you like the Chevy's interior more, though.
Yes, I do. The Chevy's interior has a lot of soft touch areas that matter when you're actually resting your elbow. Not really hard plastics, which is everywhere you touch here.
Elephant skin.
It is. It's hardened to elephant skin. But the seats in this truck are very comfortable. Steering wheel is great to grab. Nice seating position. And, I mean, I'm in wide open throttle right now, and I'm only talking slightly louder than I have to.
Yeah, it's certainly quiet, especially going down the hill. It was very quiet.
Yeah, and the throttle brake worked great, just as good as the Chevys. Wasn't really much of an issue. We're almost at speed. Wow, this thing's hauling.
Oh, I know. It's going to want to. You're going to be able to make this turn without. If you have to lift a little bit,
I'm going to lift a little tiny bit for this corner.
All right,
just to be safe.
We lifted a little bit, which says a lot about the truck. It says it's powerful enough. But look at the steepness of that hill. I bet you if you stay lifted, this thing's going to slow down.
No, I'm back on it.
You're back on it. Okay. Yep. You okay back there?
I'm
all right. You're not scared. All right. We don't want to scare Brock back there.
Brock's going to show his buddies and say, "Look at these two bozos I had to stay with on this one part."
Wide open throttle.
Yeah.
You know, I like the King Ranch version of this. I think if I were to get one, this is the one I'd go for because I'm a big fan of America. Gosh darn it!
Is this where?
Nope. One more. I'm all over it. Don't worry.
I'm making sure I just do it for
America. Gosh darn it! It's a big truck, but I like the leather. The wood applique is wood applique, but this interior color is kind of nice. It's a nice combination. Okay, here we go. We're coming up to the sign. It's going to be not even close, and stop. There we have it, Nathan. There you have it,
236.
236. So we're basically 14 seconds faster, give or take. I'm doing the math in my head. I'm probably off a little bit, but 14 seconds faster.
Ish.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, you got more torque, you got more horsepower, right?
Yeah. But the big difference here is just in terms of overall feel. And it was a breeze to drive this without feeling any strain on the truck.
All right, well, I am curious to see what the Ram will do with the Cummins. right, Nathan, the last and final truck up the New River Gauntlet. And I talked to the Ford guys, and they said all these trucks have a 3.73 rear axle ratio. So we are comparing apples to apples to apples.
As close as we can, at least.
Yeah, and better yet, check this out, dude. I have the actual Monroney for this Ram. How much do you think it cost?
$73,000.
$70,000. So you're very close.
We've had a lot of Rams recently, so
Yes, we have.
kind of well versed on the pricing of them. But look, I mean, right now I can tell you one place where the Ram absolutely kicks the crap out of both the other guys.
Where's that?
Interior.
You like this interior?
This is the best interior by far. There is one problem though. Same problem the Chevy had. No telescoping steering. It goes up and down. It doesn't go in and out. And you know what?
You like going in and out.
I like going in and out.
Hey, I have to give it to you on that. This interior is really beautiful. Dare I say elegant. I mean, both the Chevy and the Ram have this French stitching, which is nice, and the Ford doesn't. This is very soft where I rest my arm. Same thing for you, I take it?
Yep. All the surfaces in here are high quality, but it's the little touches that really gets it up to the top of the list. Just little places where there's extra leather that's added. Or,
like up here.
Yeah, right, on these oh crap handles.
Yeah.
It's just, for me, it's my favorite interior, but it's not the quietest interior. That goes to Ford by far.
Yeah.
They're very quiet. This Ram sounds like a truck, right? It doesn't sound whisper-like, which is how the Ford sounded. And the Chevy's somewhere in between the two of them. It's pretty quiet, but
I think actually the Chevy, if you're looking at car-like features, Chevy's most car-like, this is most truck-like, and the Ford somewhere in the middle. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. But in terms of, there's a little something for everybody. Yeah, there's a little something for everybody on all of these.
Now, I've got the stopwatch here. Once again, we're going to do the same thing. You okay?
Yeah, I'm right.
All right, we're going to go a running start. We've got the last time with the Ford, which was 236. The other thing I will say is that this has the high output Cummins, which is 850 pound-foot of torque, and I believe 385 horsepower.
So it's really close to what Ford's doing, but it is under.
It is under.
Ford
is 440 horsepower, and top speed is all about horsepower. So this will be really interesting. I'm really curious to see how it'll do compared to the other two trucks. But I do agree with you, Nathan. This interior, and this, by the way, is a Laramie Limited crew cab 4x4 long bed. So it's a nice truck. We're not talking a budget truck here.
No. This is pretty much as good as it gets for Dodge or for Ram. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Still do that.
We'll be doing that forever.
Yeah,
it's like ingrained in our brains right now. And you're doing 50?
I am at 50.
All right, because we're coming up to the starting point. It's that little road up ahead where we start the new and probably only Fall River, New River Gauntlet we'll ever do.
Yeah, New River.
Yeah, New River. Yeah. All right, here we go. We're coming close and go for it there.
Foot's all the way down.
All right, foot's all the way down. This is exciting.
It's not as fast as the Ford.
Well, that thing was like a mad dog.
Yeah, it was like tearing off, ready to go. Transmission. Now, remember, we have this in tow haul mode, just like we had the other two. So,
two-wheel drive, like the other one?
Yeah, two-wheel. We don't have a four-wheel drive.
Right, just in case people are curious. And we're letting the truck do its own thing.
Yeah, by now the Ford was up to like over 60, and we're just getting up to 60. I think it's going to sit right in between the Chevy and the Ford.
You think it's going to be somewhere in between?
Yep, I think so.
Now, I am kind of surprised that when Chevy came out with this latest generation of heavy-duty trucks, they didn't change the engine. They kept the Duramax the same.
Yeah, well, and they knew they had a good recipe because they had a very efficient engine, so I'm guessing that's part of it.
Yeah, and
this has been updated recently.
Yeah, of course, the Cummins is an engine that a lot of people love, right?
You hear that?
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. I'm in drive. That's another thing, by the way. Ford tells you what gear you're in. It's got a little readout, and Chevy and Ram don't, which is a real bummer. I really wish they would.
So we're doing about 60. I think at this point the Ford is up to 70. This is going to be more competitive with the Chevy, I think.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit slower. I mean, last time you came around this turn, you had to actually let off because you were going so fast.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's I won't have to let off. We're not even at 60. We're like 63 miles per hour or something like that.
It also smells really good in here.
It smells like leather. It's not just a new truck smell. There's actually a leather smell. I mean, it's real leather. Like the craftsmanship, at least for a new Ram, is awesome. It looks great. It feels great.
Let me show you something else. Check this out. Which means, you know what? This is the only truck with a push-button start.
Push-button start.
Yeah, yeah.
Out of all the ones that were compared to each other. Remember, this is the higher-end truck, too. We're talking about vehicles that are built to tow all the time. And another thing I like about Ram, and I'm completely honest about this, I love the exterior aesthetics, especially with
Coming with a slower truck, by the way.
Yeah, I see him.
Can you move over?
I can move over.
That's great.
Dude, there's another lane for you.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why it's not. I'm sorry, you were saying that you like the aesthetics?
The way that I mean, this is a dually, and the way that the bed molds out one piece to cover the wheels, it's beautiful, I think. I don't know if it's helpful aerodynamically.
Oh, look at that. It's close. And we just passed. There's the Ford. The Ford would have finished right there at 236. And here comes a sign. So this is going to be right in between the two. And bam, right there. 245.
So was that right, Ben?
Right about between the two. And it was a clean run, so we were wide open throttle all the way.
Yeah, that's impressive. And it's about what we expected. Numbers in this game. It's numbers. And Ford has the best numbers right now. And indeed, they have the most powerful truck. And it did this hill in the least amount of time.
Yeah, so we've got the new champion is the new Ford, which is not surprising.
Although it's a champion here, but we have to get it up to Colorado to see how it handles the Ike Gauntlet. That separates the men from the boys.
Oh, no doubt, man. You get that thing up 2 miles above sea level, and it's a whole different ball of wax.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you know what, folks? Look, the maximum here is 2,700 feet. That's not enough to really make these engines work. So really, it's just the grade and the weight, which is only 12,000 pounds. So, getting up to Colorado with the heavy weight, and you know we weigh our puppies down with high altitude, that's going to make things interesting.
Yeah, I think we just started a comment war because people are going to be pretty interested in the results of this. Hey guys, you saw what we did. It's very transparent, and actually it makes sense when you look at the horsepower number, when you look at the torque number, and when you look at the results.
And there's one other thing to add. We did have 160 pounds of extra weight. Brock inside the Ford. So the Ford had a slight disadvantage. Nothing personal, Brock. It's not you. It's just the extra weight, which, you know, is like one of my legs, really, 160 pounds. But the point being of that, you know, okay, the Ford had some extra weight, and it still did very, very well.
Nathan, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. It makes sense, right? The truck with the most horsepower is going to be the fastest and the most torque.
Oh yeah, by far. And you know, what we've proved here is basically what you see on paper with these big trucks is exactly what you get.
Now, I am dying to get him up to Colorado and really do an Ike Gauntlet, really stress him out.
Yeah, and that's the whole point here, is that we want to just show the basics, and that's exactly what we did, and soon you're going to see detailed stuff up high.
And it's raining again, so I think we call it a day. As always, this is Roman.
And Nathan.
Saying thanks for watching, and check out TFLtruck.com for more
news, views, and real-world reviews.
All trucks all the time. Ciao.